Hey friends, welcome back. I'm Lindsay, an interior stylist and teacher here to help you create a home you love on a budget. And in today's video, I'm going to be finally sharing one of the big makeovers here in our new home, our home office. This is my series Design Diary, sharing all the projects big and small we're doing in our new home to make it feel like our home. The home office generally seems to be the first place I like to go in these sort of whole home scale makeovers. I guess it's because it's my workspace and where I'm spending a lot of time, not only filming these videos, I'm in the home office here right now. I also do a ton of just design planning, research, sourcing items online, long hours editing videos. Looking back on the rental house makeover, I did a room by room makeover of that rental home on this channel, so I'll link that playlist for you down below. I actually redesigned the home office in our rental house 2, 3, 4 times maybe before I figured I got it right. But moving to this house, I knew that I wanted to make some major changes, not just in the design of this room, but across our whole home. Just leveling up. Before we get into this makeover, we've got to take a look at what this room looked like before. So let's start with before we moved in. Taking a look from our empty house tour, I'll link that down below as well. You can see this room was a little drab. It had this sort of bold, not for me shade of green. It was just all wrong. It just took over the room, and honestly, looking down the hall at it just made me not want to go in there and do any work. The other thing was the ceiling, although painted white. I've said this on this channel many times, not all whites are created equal, and this particular white was so dingy and just sort of worn out looking. Otherwise, this room is a decent size. It's not huge by any means, but it's definitely a great size for what I need it to work for. I wanted space for a big, large desk, a storage cabinet of some sort, a seating area just for hanging out, but also for filming, and then a closet for storage. The other thing that has to go, is that light fixture. When I shared this on my decluttering video a while back, some of you actually came in to defend the star light fixture. Personally, for me, I found it gaudy, tacky, and cheap looking, and so I was very excited to just take it out. Even before we had sourced any new lighting, I knew that was gonna make a huge difference just to get that thing out of here. So you can see the before here, it's just not working for my workspace. I have a couple of items that I know I want to keep in here, but I also want to make some investments on some great workhorse furniture that's going to do me well in here for many years. Let's go to the mood board. In the past, I've used Canva to make some of my mood boards, but lately I've just been loving Pinterest. Honestly, I just try to find the products that I either currently own online or something super similar, so I just get that image up on the page, and then I start adding in different furniture pieces that I'm considering buying. Seeing everything all together, from paint color to window treatments to floor coverings, it just really helps me to visualize and see it all. I can visualize pretty well in my mind, but there's just nothing like seeing it all in one pin board. I knew I wanted to brighten up and soften this space with the perfect creamy, warm tone, neutral beige paint color. After testing tons of different beige shades over a bit of time, I ended up going with Benjamin Moore Balboa Mist. It's one of my all-time favorite neutral shades, and I absolutely love it in this room. I also sprang for their top of the line paint, Benjamin Moore Advanced. It's my absolute favorite. It goes over just about anything, and this one comes in a beautiful matte finish, which just gives the room the most soft, lovely tone. I've been loving this look lately, where you don't just paint the wall color and leave a contrast white trim, you paint literally everything in the room. I opted to keep the ceiling white, kept it our official white of our house, Benjamin Moore Chantilly lace in a satin finish, but with the walls, trim, doors, everything else in this room, the Balboa Mist matte finish. I already have this West Elm Phoebe chair. It's super 60s vibe. I love the brass legs. I love the very subtle texture to the upholstery that I chose. I actually purchased this one years ago when it first came out, back when I was living in a studio apartment. I really think of this one as one of my first big adult furniture purchases, where I picked out what I wanted. Didn't really care if it was on sale. It was an investment, and I still love it. That's definitely staying. And I also love the little brass cage side table from Opal House at Target that I paired with with it in my previous rental office makeover. Honestly, the Phoebe chair and the Opal House cage brass table were the only two things from my office in the rental house that ended up staying in this room. All right, editing Lindsay here. I've got to interject because I brutally misremembered my own makeover. I actually had to look back at it, you guys. So I actually, in the rental house makeover, used a chair from the Studio McGee collaboration with Target and ottoman in the office, and I had the Phoebe chair in the family room. All right, but I did have the brass table in there. All right, back to it. As for my desk, during the height of the pandemic, I was very much interested in adding an electric adjustable height desk, and I was lucky enough to get one gifted to us by FlexiSpot. Thanks again. I do love that desk, but as far as the style goes, it just wasn't working for this beautiful new elevated office. So I opted to move that adjustable height desk out to our garage workshop space, and I can't wait to share how we're using it in that makeover reveal situation that'll come up in a future Design Diary episode. And as far as my affordable Wayfair 60s vibe chair, it was a worthy effort. That thing just was not built to stand the test of time. It had sort of a fake wood veneer on it that was chipping and scratching easily, and the faux leather just was not giving me the luxury vibes that I wanted to feel in this room, so it's time for an upgrade. I also have this super affordable storage cube piece of furniture from Target. That little closet-made storage piece will be perfect for our garage workout area, and that leaves a little bit of room for a family heirloom that I am truly honored to bring into our home. While I was in the process of sourcing things, getting my ideas together for this space, my mom let me know that she still had this antique washstand that belonged to my grandfather hanging out in her garage, collecting dust, and she thought that I might want it for somewhere in our new home. I'm so grateful that she kept it so long. I remember back in my early 20s when I was decorating some of my first apartments, she had offered it to me, and I just thought it looked sort of outdated and old and just not the modern aesthetic that I was kind of going for, or the sort of mid-century vibes I was going for at the time. And I'm so grateful that she kept it for so long and offered it to me again, because it's perfect in here. I truly love it. It's one of my favorite things in this home. Obviously, the biggest reason is because every single time I see it, I remember how much my grandfather loved this piece of furniture. He loved that it was in my house growing up, and he would love to know that it's in my house now. It just makes me feel it makes me feel the love, you guys, especially when I miss him as much as I do. I'm a big believer in sourcing secondhand pieces. Family heirlooms are definitely to be treasured. If it's something that you think can integrate into your personal style, maybe give it a shot. You never know. Even if you end up refinishing a piece or redoing part of it, reupholstering it, it will still have that connection. On the same note, you're never gonna catch me advocating for hanging on to heirlooms that you don't like, that don't bring you joy, that you felt were forced onto you for some reason. Have the tough conversation with your family member, but don't sacrifice your daily happiness or the just simplicity that you crave in your space by taking on extra things that don't serve you. So once I had the antique washstand in place, I knew it was perfect. The paint color made such a huge, massive difference in here. On a previous episode of Design Diary, I gave you guys 4 different options for the home office light fixture and asked for your votes in the comments of that video. By far, the winner was the Sphere and Stem 3-light chandelier from West Elm, and I very happily ordered it. There's another one that's kind of similar that I put in the bathroom, which you'll see in an upcoming video. Yes, Mom, I am gonna make that bathroom styling video you asked for. It was a good idea. What's really cool is in this space, I really wanted to add a little bit more femininity, a nod to my passion for French design, and I sourced this Baroque-inspired ceiling medallion from Amazon. I searched and searched for the right one. It was very hard to find just the right one that had the right size hole for the canopy for this light fixture. A lot more challenging than I thought it was. You can search for that though on Amazon, which is why I ended up finding something on that website. Obviously super searchable. So I just typed in ceiling medallion fits canopies, which is that metal circle piece that fits on the ceiling of the light fixture. That's called the canopy. And so what you're looking for with a ceiling medallion is one that's gonna sort of accommodate that metal piece with the hole that's in the middle of your ceiling medallion. This one was supposed to be perfect. I had a very easy install. I painted it, it looked perfect. And then we ran into some challenging problems. Let's roll the montage. You're gonna have to watch all the way to the end to see if we were able to successfully make this thing happen. Well, wouldn't you know, we're having such a difficult time getting this light fixture up and off the ground. We got it up there, but screws, stripping, angles off, old house, just something about this light fixture, this new fixture is not matching up quite right with the electrical. And then of course the medallion adds another level of, interesting challenge, but we are undaunted. I am heading back to Home Depot. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're in the middle of a project and it's getting you very frustrated and it's not quite working, just, give yourself a little self-talk, pep talk, remind yourself it's all going to work out. Where there's a will, there's a way. And as a very wise hardware store clerk once told me, it's not a real project unless you've gone back to the hardware store at least 15 times. And then you're a real DIYer. Okay, so I'm headed back to the store. I'm getting some replacements for these little screws that are totally stripped, getting some more of the number 8 2-inch screws, the machine screws that we need to drill it back into the remaining fixture, and then hopefully this thing can work. So keep your fingers crossed. I must say, to source the right desk. And I actually had one all picked out from CB2, had it ordered, and had to actually call them. And lucky for me, I caught them just like 2 days before they were sending it out, was able to cancel the order. And then I had to do some more searching and looking around, and finally decided on the Quinn desk from West Elm. One thing that I really liked about this particular desk was it was ready to ship, which is huge right now. If you've been looking for furniture lately, you know that everything's on quite a long delay, and I just didn't want to wait too long on a desk. I had a feeling I could find something. I went with this white wood front drawers with the fluting and black metal for the base and the drawer pulls, and I absolutely love it. I was a little unsure if going for this sort of mixed color was going to work in here. Honestly, I didn't want to compete with the washstand and the hardwood floors, but once the rug went down, the hardwood floors kind of became a little less prominent, and then putting the washstand on this side of the room, the desk on that side of the room, not having those two woods next to each other allows them to coexist peacefully. Sourcing the right rug for this room was a challenge. I feel like rugs are always a challenge for me because there are so many great options out there. I went straight to the Rugs USA website. I actually ordered 2 rugs on this purchase. The rug that's in here was actually originally ordered for our bedroom. It was totally the wrong colors for the bedroom. And then I ordered a different rug for in here, and the colors were wildly different than the listing on Rugs USA's website. It was supposed to be sort of a denim blue, which you guys know I love, and it actually, when it got here, it was more teal-y turquoise, and it was just wrong. It honestly looked like kind of beachy, but that's when I had the brainstorm. Why don't I try that tribal medallion rug that I ordered for the bedroom in the office and it was a game changer. Now, at first, I was a little unsure about this colorway, you guys. I'm gonna be really honest. It was listed on the website as light brown, and as you might be noticing, it's got a very warm tone to it, almost a mauve-y pink kind of undertone, desert sand kind of color. When I first put it in here too, I was trying out a couple of accessories. I had a blue pillow and blanket, both purchased from the Studio McGee collaboration with Target. That blue tone that was kind of periwinkle made the rug look pinker. As soon as I took those blue accessories out, it completely changed the tone of the rugs. Try removing all your accessories when you're integrating a new piece like an area rug. Sometimes old pillows or other things that have different color story together will change how you perceive the colors in a new piece. And so removing accessories can really help you to focus on that new item, see how it integrates, then you can pull in things that accent and support that piece. Lighting was a little bit of a question mark in this room for a bit. I had this desk lamp from Target that I used in the previous home. It just never felt right on the desk, and honestly, I was trying to eliminate some clutter with my big external monitor and my laptop stand, my laptop, my keyboard, my just everything else. I thought getting a lamp off the table might be nice, just free up a little bit more space. While I was out antiquing at one of my favorite local spots, if you're in Seattle, Ballard Consignment, you're welcome. But at Ballard Consignment, met the owner on this particular trip, kind of chatted with him a bit. Didn't find any antiques that I fell for, but I was surprised to find that he had a bunch of article stuff in there. And I ended up buying an article sconce. This one's called the Leap Sconce. Since I saw it in person, and I believe the owner of this store gets this stuff at cost and is able to justify tacking it on to furniture purchases to make it worth the while of the customer, or just for people like me, get me to come back and look at some more stuff next time. I actually ended up purchasing it for $45 and it's listed as $69 on the website, so I can't do a room without doing a fabulous Goodwill lamp find, so here she is. I love this lamp. I was so excited when I found it. It's sort of an ivory off-white ceramic. It's got kind of a regal sense about it. I love the lines. It almost looks like a pillar, sort of. And I put it with this more traditional shade. Although, to be honest, I'm thinking about getting a pleated shade. In my last video, you might have seen there was a pleated shade on this one. I pulled it off another lamp, so we'll see if I make that swap permanent. Honestly, this room though is, I've said it before, it's kind of like my little design playground. I've already changed so many things since moving into this space, and I'll probably do that frequently. It's just fun to change things up, you guys. Test things out. This lamp was only $8.99 at Goodwill, and then I just ended up buying a new harp for it. I kept its original finial because I thought it was a little fun, and a new lampshade, and all together, very affordable. The last little lamp that I probably should point out is probably a controversial one. I don't know if I care though, to be honest. It's more functional than anything else. This one is the Symfonisk Wi-Fi speaker lamp from IKEA. That's harder to say than you might think. I was initially attracted to it because of its functionality. It's both an ambient lamp, but it's also a Wi-Fi speaker, which I desperately needed in this office for, you know, work times. I'm sure it's not for everyone, but honestly, it works great in here, provides great light. The only mistake I made was I accidentally ordered daylight bulbs for this one, so those are gonna have to be replaced shortly after this video. You might remember the whole story regarding the window treatments for this room if you watched my video on how to hang window treatments. I used an Umbra rod called the Circo. It has these really cool circular finials with a little brass and marble detailing that I absolutely love. Just adds a little bit of visual interest, a little higher up, draw your eye up. And then I went with my favorite new curtains. This one was a recommendation from Arvin Alano. They're the Land Time Linen Look curtains. They're pinch pleat, and I absolutely love these curtains. I can't say enough about the company. I got a phone call yesterday from the company because I've ordered so many curtains from them. They wanted to confirm that I'd received what I'd already ordered, and they even included a fabric swatch in one of my packages for curtains that I ordered for another room. They even offered to do custom length, which was incredible, so that's going to save me so much time with hemming. The ones in this room I did hem quite a bit just to make sure they were perfect length for this room, but hopefully that'll work out for the next one. one, so I'll let you guys know. Honestly, these look custom for an incredible price. They look like linen. They have beautiful color, beautiful texture, and they're so soft. And I love how this color of curtain matches perfectly with the Balboa Mist wall color. I tried to repurpose some IKEA curtain hooks, as I mentioned in my previous video, but I actually ended up ordering some new metal hooks from Amazon. I'll link everything I can down below, including those, and they are amazing. I will probably never try another curtain hook ever again. These are so good and such a great price. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm sweating. I'm sweating. I hope you're surviving the heat waves, the crazy weather wherever you are. Oh, we're melting in Seattle. My hair is curling as we're sitting here. Look at this. But I blew it out for you. I blew it out for you. Now let's talk about one of my favorite things to add to a room when styling: live plants. I know that there's gonna be a handful of you that are gonna defend artificial plants in the comments. I'm here for it, go for it. I don't hate on them necessarily, but just for our home, I always prefer to have real plants. I just love the life that they bring to a space. I love to watch them grow. I ended up trying out a lot of different plants in this room. I had this funny little vase container with succulents in it that I found, and I had that in here for a while. It just didn't work. I ended up moving it somewhere else. It's super cute in the new space. I really figured out I needed to clear a little plant clutter and focus on some really important plants for this space. I invested in a weeping fig. It's a type of ficus tree, and I absolutely love it. They're a little bit finicky, if I'm being honest, and I did find out that I positioned it a little too far away from the window. So I've since moved it closer to the window on the side of my desk, and it just makes me feel like I'm bringing the outdoors in, which gives me those Japandi vibes. I just love it, you guys. Behind me is this beautiful marble queen pothos. It's starting to get more and more color variation as it's been recovering. It had a little bit of a hard time during the move, but now it's recovering and looking so beautiful, trailing and getting more and more interesting leaves growing. So very excited about that one. And then I also have this little tropical sort of spiky palm. I don't even know what it's called. Artwork. I am a huge believer that artwork makes or breaks a space. I created an entire video on how to add artwork to your home. I'll link it down below. I wanted to incorporate some of my favorite inspiring pieces that went with the color story of the rug. So I ended up using a beautiful Haida sun. It's an original piece from 1978, and I sourced it at the Bainbridge Island rummage sale a few years ago. The silhouette tree painting at sunset behind me is another one of my favorites. Also sourced at the Bainbridge Island rummage sale. If you have yard sales, rummage sales, flea markets anywhere near you, those are fantastic places to search for any art pieces on a budget. You can look for some telltale signs that it's a quality piece and not just a cheap print. Here's my best quick tips. Make sure that it looks like it's an original piece of art. Maybe it has a signature in the bottom corner. Maybe you can see the brush strokes under the glass or feel them if there is no glass. Another telltale sign that it's from a frame shop. If it's been framed professionally, then it might have been an investment piece for somebody and likely might be an original piece, or at the very least, a high quality print. This beautiful white pillar home portrait is from my local Goodwill store. I was so excited to find this and two others that featured homes as the general subject matter. Shocker, I like homes. All right, the curtains are hemmed, they're hung, furniture's in place, finishing touches, Vinny. I think it's time for a little before and after, don't you think? Roll the reveal footage in 3, 2, 1. Beyond thrilled with how this room has turned out. I really feel like it's been a process. It's come together over time. I've layered in lots of different things: historical pieces, family heirlooms, antiques, new pieces, modern pieces, vintage inspired pieces, original art. So many things that just make me so happy. And honestly, now when I look down the hallway, I feel nothing but joy, and I can't wait to get into this room working every single day. So you know what that means: more YouTube videos. Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end of this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hit that little bell notification too, so you know when I upload. Next week, I'm diving back into decoding design styles, and we're taking on transitional. Until then, you might enjoy my home office makeover from our rental home. Compare, see how far I've come with my design since about a year ago when I did that space. I'll also link my most recent entryway makeover so you can see a little bit more of the designs in this new house, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, my friends.